Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Weather and Toilet Liker 8802 here. Welcome back to another video. So today's upload is going to be about an impactful winter storm being possible this weekend. Before I get into the video though, I kindly request that you do consider subscribing if you do like weather related content or any of my content in general. That really means a lot to me, as do nice comments. Also, be sure to like this video. The storm I have been monitoring for the past several days now has a name, Isaiah. I will be mentioning that name on my forecast maps, as well as occasionally throughout the video. This could be the most significant winter storm of the season, and has the potential to be a historic one. Snow amounts into double digits are possible, along with very heavy ice. Near blizzard and perhaps blizzard conditions are possible, especially Saturday, January 11th. This is the weather hazards map from Pivotal Weather. As you can see, there's a lot of winter weather headlines in the Northwest U.S. Wind advisories, some wind alerts as well, winter weather advisories, winter storm watches and warnings. And we also got a lone wind advisory out in California. And we also got some alerts down south, down the southern U.S. Some wind advisories in Texas and New Mexico. And also wind advisory for far southeast Arkansas, eastern Louisiana, much of Mississippi and much of Alabama, and some of the Florida Panhandle. These flood and winter storm watches, those are associated with major winter storm Isaiah. Well, I call it major because primarily of heavy ice and snow, and because of the severe weather event in the southern U.S. Winter storm watches extend all the way from Oklahoma through through Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Michigan. And we also got some winter weather advisories for northern Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan. So I want to talk about the severe weather aspect of this video. This is the severe weather outlook for Friday, the 10th of January 2020, which is tomorrow. As you can see, they used to have an enhanced risk there for portions of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana. They now have a moderate risk for portions of Texas, northeast Texas, northwest Louisiana, and far southern Arkansas. I did not include the probabilistic outlook, but I know that from watching a video on that storm, that there could be significant severe weather impacts possible, especially in the enhanced and moderate risk areas. The Storm Prediction Center severe weather outlook for Saturday, January 11th, 2020. You can see that with the enhanced risk is shifted to the east and south. But there's still some significant severe weather possible, even in the enhanced risk area. Now you notice the yellows, those are the slight risk, and the dark green is the marginal risk. And anyways, if you live in the south, be alert for some potential severe weather on Friday and Saturday. This is my storm track and my forecast. You can see we have the low pressure system was centered as of over portions of Arkansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas and Oklahoma earlier today, and as well as portions of northeastern Texas. Well, that's forecast to move northeast and bring some potentially significant impact, bring some impacts, at least minor, to the portions of the U.S. from the central U.S. all the way to the Northeast. Now I just wanted to clarify the severe weather aspect. This yellow area here is where we're accepting a marginal to slight risk for severe weather overall. Now within this orange shaded area, we have an enhanced to moderate risk. And in this green area, which stretches from Oklahoma all the way to New England, which also includes portions of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York, and also Oklahoma, Northwest Arkansas, and a sliver of Texas, and much of Missouri. That's where you can experience some potential flooding or flash flooding from heavy rain. Now in the magentas here, I have a potential for a devastating ice storm. But this is where over a certain amount of ice is possible, like over 1/10 of an inch is possible in this pink shaded region, magenta shaded region. And over this very southern regions of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, I have rain and some ice possible. And then the slight blue area here, which stretches from surrounds the devastating ice storm area, which stretches from Oklahoma through Kansas and Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, and into Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. That's where you can experience at least some snow from this storm. Now, areas where you can experience the most snow extend from far north and extend from east central and northeast Iowa all the way to northern portions of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, as well as far northern portions of Illinois, perhaps including the Chicago area. That's where you can expect some pretty heavy snow totals. I'll talk about that towards the end of the video, later in the video. GFS, this is the GFS model run from Tropical Tidbits. As of 18 UTC today, you can see you can see that this storm is starting to develop, but we've got some very heavy rain line stretching from a heavy line of rain stretching from Texas to Missouri, which could be surrounding that some lighter greens, which indicate light to moderate rain. And on the northern flank, snow and ice will be commonplace. As by 6 UTC on January 11th, you can see snow, ice, and rain have become more widespread. Precipitation is now stretching from Texas to Iowa, Wisconsin, and Iowa to Wisconsin to Michigan, and a little bit of rain stretching to the Great Lakes, eastern Great Lakes, but not much. But the heaviest rain is supposed to be along that line that I'm pointing out with my laser gesture. The simulated radar forecast, the GFS MSLP precip rain and frozen. Our 48 by 18Z, there's a lull and there's a break in the snow across. There's a break. The precipitation moves east, and as you can see, and then Iowa and Wisconsin actually see a break from the precipitation, but things really start ramping up by 0 UTC Sunday, January 12th, which is about 7-8 p.m. Central Time, which is about 7 to 8 p.m. on Saturday, January 11th. Now, as you can, if we now, the snow is really starting to move even further to the east and lighten up across Iowa, but heavier snow can be expected possible across Wisconsin, Michigan, and Illinois. Very heavy snow rates. I'm talking like double digits possible. And that heavy snow still isn't letting up for northern lower peninsula of Michigan, even as this storm moves east. And then by 18 UTC Sunday, January 12th, we see that far northern portions of Maine are going to stay all snow, with central and southern portions likely seeing either ice or rain. Central portions will see ice, southern portions will see all rain. And the 0Z Monday, January 13th forecast, this storm is pretty much said and done with, except for some lingering light snow over northern Maine. Now it's just, and this storm is really well moved off to sea, and there's some lingering light snow that is most likely not certainly not associated with this storm. Some light snow that is pretty likely not associated with Winter Storm Isaiah. And that winter storm has well moved off to sea by 6Z January 13th. The GFS total snowfall amounts are pretty impressive. There's a heavy snow band. Oh, sorry, let me get my laser pointer out. As you can see, heavy snow stretches from central Oklahoma all the way through the Great Lakes and into northern Maine. This is where you can expect at least darker blues are or at least 1 inch of snow. Purples are at least 4 inches. Pinks are at least 6 inches. And the greens are 12 to 24 inches. This is by 0Z January 14th of 2020. Now let's check out the European model snowfall forecast. And their totals are also pretty impressive, stretching over the same general area as the GFS, but a little more potent. Showing an excess of a foot over Wisconsin and Michigan, portions of it. But surrounding that, the blues are like 1 to 6 inches of snow. Purples are 6 inches to a foot. And you can really see that northern Maine is most likely not going to miss out on snow, on the heavy snow accumulations, moderate to heavy snow. The Weather Prediction Center winter weather composite chart for January 11th, 2020, as of as of 21:59 UTC today. Slight to high heavy snow probabilities were introduced from Iowa through northern Maine and southeast Canada. but I'm talking about the weather in the US, not Canada. Slight to high probabilities are also introduced. Slight to moderate snow probabilities for greater than 8 inches are introduced from Wisconsin to northern Maine. For far northern Maine, however, there is also a low probability of at least 12 inches of snow. And from Michigan all the way through to southern Maine, this is where you can expect slight to moderate probabilities of at least a quarter-inch of ice. This is the Weather Prediction Center winter weather composite chart for tomorrow. Slight to moderate probabilities for 4 inches of snow are introduced from Kansas and Oklahoma and Missouri all the way through to northern Michigan, also including Iowa, and also highest snow probabilities extend from northeast Kansas to southern Iowa. Probability for at least 8 inches of snow. Slight risk for at least for far northwest Missouri and into southern Iowa. And you can see probabilities for 12 inches of snow are virtually like nil across this north central U.S. area, the central U.S. area. But the probabilities for ice, quarter inch of ice, aren't. You can see that there are slight to moderate probabilities of at least a quarter inch of ice, stretching from all the way from northeast Kansas through the southern portions of the Great Lakes and also into a very small speck of upstate New York. That's where you can expect, well, at least very heavy ice, moderate to heavy ice from this storm Isaiah. My ice forecasts. I could not find a map for the ice forecast. Ice could fall in a swath from eastern Kansas to portions of the Great Lakes and northern New England. Ice totals, which includes sleet and freezing rain, are forecast to be a general glaze to 1/2 inch. However, ice totals in excess of 1/2 inch are possible for portions of the Great Lakes, especially the central lower peninsula of Michigan, where perhaps over 1 inch is possible. Now let's look at the GFS total accumulated precip forecast by 0Z January 14th, 2019. Notice how I'm rushing this because I have a lot of stuff to cover. Now I'm going to keep this under 20 minutes. Those heavy precipitation stretches from Oklahoma to New England. Stretches from Oklahoma to upstate New York and northwest Maine. Where over 2 inches is possible. Now outside of that, in the blues, half to 2 inches is possible, and then the greens, up to 1/2 inch is possible, depending on where you live. Now this is my snow forecast. The gray shaded areas could see a dusting to 3 inches of snow, which stretches from Oklahoma to the northeast, and also forks off to the Great Lakes. And we have an embedded area of 3 to 6 inches stretching from northeast Oklahoma through to the arrowhead of Minnesota and northern Wisconsin and Michigan and the UP of Michigan. And we have an embedded area of 6 to 10 inches over portions of northern Missouri, eastern Iowa, much of Wisconsin, Illinois, and northern Illinois and northern Michigan. Within that, from east central Iowa through the UP of Michigan, where 10 to 15 plus inches are possible, with the highest being in Wisconsin and Michigan. Gray are 1 to 3 inches, light blue is 3 to 6 inches, moderate blue is 6 to 10 inches, dark blue is 10 to 15 inches, and purple is 15 inches plus. Again, let me recap. If you live in the gray areas, you'll see a dusting to 3 inches. If you live in the light blue areas, you'll see 3 to 6 inches. Moderate blues, 6 to 10 inches. Dark blues, 10 to 15 inches. Purples, 15 inches plus. Okay, these are the sources I use to gather info. They include the Weather Prediction Center, the Storm Prediction Center, Tropical Tidbits, and Pivotal Weather. I give them all credit for giving me those helpful images to reuse. And if you, well, that's it for today's upload. If you like to see more content of mine, then please do click subscribe, and also be consider liking the video, and I'll catch you on the next episode, which might be a weather alert video. See ya, bye. Dun, 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 la, 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 la. Bye.